Hey guys, this is Swift here, and this is part 3 of DIY NAS. Today I'll be teaching you the final part actually to start your NAS to start serving files up your network. This part will basically cover the topics of formatting your hard drive, as well as setting up the Samba file server to allow for file sharing among your network computers. So for this part, I will also have another guide, written guide on my website. You can basically just see up, click the link in the description bar, and you can just copy and paste the code for easier reference and for faster typing. So anyway, let's just go straight in. As you can see here, I will have two screens here. I'll be using one that for this screen. Now the one I'm holding right now is basically, this is the one that's connected to my current active NAS, and the other one here is for demonstration purposes. This is the VirtualBox Ubuntu as per before. So let's go straight in. First thing first, we are going to partition your hard drive. So here I have created a virtual hard disk to simulate as if I have another hard drive plugged into the system. So what you want to do right now is actually to list and see what you have. So first thing first, you want to type in sudo. Give me a second. Alright, you type in sudo fdisk-l. It has to be a lowercase l. So sudo fdisk-l. Type in password free sudo. Now you're gonna see two drives, or whichever number of drives you have. One of them is your operating system drive, which is quite obvious because it has already all the partitions there. And as you can see here, SDA1, SDA2. SDA is basically the /DV/SDA or B or C is basically your hard drive, the letter for your drive. So take note of that. The 1, 2, 3, etc. is the partition number. So for now, you can see here, SDB is my second hard drive. SDA is basically my OS drive itself. Now you're going to take note. So now drive B is our drive that we want to partition. So what we're going to do next is to basically access the drive using the utility itself. So you're going to type in sudo fdisk now /dev/sdb for your drive, or whichever letter your drive is. Now if you want to format the drive that is more 3 terabytes or more, you will use gdisk instead of fdisk to create the GUID partition table. So anyway, so for this, the commands are basically the same. You just change it to gdisk instead of fdisk. You can just Google if you're not sure of the commands anyway. So once it's here, just hit enter. Now they're gonna say here that doesn't contain a valid partition table, which is because the drive is new and we haven't do anything to it yet. Now you're gonna meet a blank screen, or you can just type M. You can see the options that are available for you to choose from. For now, what we're gonna do, you can read through the thing and you can see that you can type in N to basically add a new partition. So we're just gonna hit N, enter. Now partition type is going to be primary. We're not extending anything. Now partition number 1 to 4, the default is 1. You can hit 1. If you're going to have several different partitions, you can choose the different numbers, but for now, for simplicity's sake, we're going to just hit 1 partition. The whole drive will be partitioned as 1. Then you can just hit all the default, first sector, last sector. So if you're gonna do different partitions, you're gonna have to take note of the sector size and stuff like that. You're gonna partition it to the size that you want your partition to be. So for now, everything's gonna be default, which means we're gonna use the whole drive. Now once this is going to record into the temporary system, and we want to tell the system now, the utility, that we want to partition it the way it is. To do that, we're going to type in W and enter, and once you've done that, it will immediately partition the disk. So you can see now quickly, there we go, SDB1, we have a partition ready. Now that we have a partition ready, the next thing we want to do is to basically format the drive itself to the file system that we desire. Now there are several different file systems you can choose from. I'm not going to discuss them in detail here. I'm also not too well versed anyway, but I've read up quite a bit on them, and I found out that ext4, the one that is used by Ubuntu, it has a good balance between security, stability, as well as performance. Well, ext4 is unreadable by Windows system. All we're gonna do now is basically share the files using the Samba file system, so it should work as well. However, if you want the drive to be such a way that once you plugged it out from your NAS and plug it straight into your Windows computer, and that you will be able to read it, you will have to format it to perhaps NTFS or FAT32. Well, while those have their own benefits as well, for me, I believe that ext4 has a better performance and stability, as I just mentioned. So we're just going to do straight away with ext4. You can choose whichever system you want. You read up more on it on your own. And so, alright, so now you can see the partition. We have partition 1, which is SDB1 /DV /SDB1, and that's the partition we want to format. So what we're going to type here is basically give me a second. What we're going to type here right now is basically sudo. Let me just scroll this up. Alright, sudo mkfs, that's the utility name, -t ext4 or ntfs or fat32 or ext3, whichever, and then you're gonna type in the drive, the partition. There we go. And then you're done basically formatting the drive. So now you actually have a properly formatted drive. And now what we're going to do is to make a folder or point in the system and point it to the drive to make use of it. So for now, in Ubuntu, we make use of the system of mounting and unmounting. Basically, you have to point a folder to the location of the hard drive, and you will basically access the hard drive from that particular folder or shortcut from there on. And yeah, so what we're gonna do next is create the directory, and this directory will be used for the file sharing purposes. Now you can create this directory anywhere you want, but to make it neat and tidy, actually, it's more preferably done under the /media folder. This is the default location used by Ubuntu itself. So to do that, we can do sudo mkdir, which actually stands for make directory /media / whatever drive name you want. For now, we're gonna do it called primary. Alright. So now we have a directory named primary already. You can actually check that using this command. There we can see the folder primary is created. So now we're going to do the mounting process. You basically do it in two ways. You can mount the drive manually each time, or you can actually mount it, tell the system that to mount it every time it boots up. So to do that, we're gonna find the UDID of the drive. First thing first, you're gonna type in sudo blkid. Now you see lots and lots of numbers here. You're gonna find the one that actually follows your partition drive, which is SDB1 or whichever is yours, and then you're gonna want to copy. You want to copy that actual that number itself, right? Now you want to have that down basically in different clients. You can copy and paste it by several different methods. For example, let me show you the putty silent. Here you can actually, let's say whichever drive your partition is on, you can just do this. This is for the putty silent, and actually you just copy the clipboard, and to paste you can just right click. But for now we are just not going to bother about that. You can see this and once you get down the UDID of your drive, you want to add it to your the startup script of the operating system. So to do that, you're gonna do is sudo nano/etc/fstat. Now you can see here there are already two different UUID. So I read it wrongly somewhere else. Anyway, you can see here this is your operating system itself, the different partitions of your operating system drive. So what you do here is basically to type in UUID equals to whichever your ID is here, whatever, your UUID space ext4 equals to whichever your UUID is there, space /media/primary, or whichever your drive name is, space ext4, that's the format of the file system format of your partition, and then space default space 0 space 2, and then you're gonna save it. And once you've done that, you want to save it, and once you've done that, you can simply type in sudo mount-a, and that will basically mount your drives. So once that is done, actually you're ready to do your Samba file server. So now if you didn't actually install or download the Samba file server during the very initial installation of the operating system, you can do that right now by typing in sudo apt-get install Samba. And for demonstration purposes, I haven't installed it yet on this VirtualBox, so this is going to take some time, and yeah, I will be back. Here you go. You're just gonna type yes, and then it's gonna do his work downloading the different packages and stuff like that from the net to your file server. So this will take a while. Well, it downloads the stuff it needs and install it. Actually, it's quite fast. Now it's gonna install. Alright, let me just take a sip of water. As you can see here, they're installing and creating all the different setup files, configuration files for the Samba file server to work. It should be done really soon. Alright, and now it's done. So now what we're gonna do is to basically configure the Samba file server, and you can do that by editing its configuration file by typing sudo nano /etc /samba /smb.conf, and you're gonna see a huge chunk of text. All this basically is not really needed. There are different options that you can do, lots of comments that tell you what each thing does. You can basically go to the net and find one default template that minimizes all the clutter, delete every single thing, and just rewrite everything. So yeah, anyway, what you want to do is to scroll all the way down to the end of the file. Now here is where we're going to type in our share configuration, and to do that we're going to type in this bracket, open bracket, anything you want, actually not important, NAS. For now I'll just do that, NAS space, you can just type tab for formatting, writable equals yes, path equals, you're going to point it to the path of your folder, the drive, enter. Now false group, I'll explain all this in a while. Valid users equals at NAS create mode equals 0664 directory mode equals 0000775. Okay, so now if you would like to copy and paste this, you can head straight to the article. The link is in the description bar. And now I'm going to explain what it is. Now false group equals NAS. You can actually, that's basically the group name of what I'll call the users that you allow within the file system, users that you want to share files with, network users. Now this will force the group of whichever you want, for now, for this example NAS, onto every single file created on the hard drive of the NAS itself. This will allow all members of the group to use, read and write and execute the different files that are uploaded by the different users. And then we got the next line saying valid users basically allows users within the group of NAS to access and use the file storage, the path that we have defined. The create mode there creates a mask, meaning all files that created will be created with that permission, and this permission grants read and execute access, I believe. Should be read and execute. And directories will be created, all created with read, execute, and write access for both the owner as well as the group. Well, the rest will have no access. Where people not within the network will have no access to it at all. So yeah, that's about it. There are various different configurations. This will allow you to create a whole huge hard drive for sharing. If you like to create different portions, folders for different people, you can obviously create different shares for each single individual person, and then restrict the access to different people as well. Now you can play with that around and do whichever to your own need. But for now, this will allow you to share and create files within a network among all users that you've created accounts for. Once you've done that, you're going to exit the file, save it, overwrite it, and you're basically done. what you want to do now is to create the group of whichever you have typed in there. So for now it's NAS. So to create a group, you have to use the command. Sorry. You have to use the command sudo. I believe this command. There we go. We have a group created called NAS. Now what you're going to do next is to add your user to that group itself. So for now we have Swift created already. I'm going to add Swift into the group NAS. Sudo. So you're going to type in sudo user add dash capital G, the group name, sorry, and your username. Okay, I found out what went wrong there. Instead of user add, if your user already exists, you're gonna use the word user mod instead. Dash G, capital G. That's the difference. The small g is the default group, which we do not really want to modify anything. Dash NAS Swift. There we go, and then we can list again. And there we go. We have NAS inside. So yeah. Now if you want several different groups, you just simply have the comma, like NAS, whichever, two, whichever three, and space, your username. So user add will basically add a new user if it doesn't exist. And user mod will modify if your user already exists. Now, what I'll do tell you about next, you have to listen carefully. The Samba user management, that means the login credentials for the Samba file server, maintains a log by itself. What it means is that it has its own user management controls by itself. There are scripts to sync your Ubuntu users with Samba, but that's going to be more advanced and you can just do that on your own. And for now we'll do it manually, and that means we are going to add in our user itself to the Samba user management system. So to do that, we just want to create a like a new user, but this user must be already available and created in your Ubuntu user management. So what we want to type is sudo smb passwd-a, the username that you have. Now what this will do is to create a Samba password for your server, for the Samba file server. And so you can just choose your password and it will tell you nothing because it's already successfully added into the system. So once you've done that, you are actually done. You're ready to start accessing your server already. And the last step here before everything is done is basically to restart the Samba file server to let the configuration file take place. So what we're going to type in is sudo service smbd restart, and you're done. You should see the server. You can access it in your Windows drive. As you can see here, I'll just show you quickly how mine looks. As you can see here, this here is my file server. You can basically go into Windows. Let me drag this in here. Now if you know what's the address name, you can just // it. For example, this is swiftnas /swiftnas, and you should get it. It should find it. You actually type in the folder name. There we go. But we're not going to do that. Or it should be actually available in your network. You can actually browse for it. So if as you can see here, you can see this. It does recognize the virtual software, but it's unable to do because it's on different subnet, I believe. Yep, it's on different subnet. So anyway, that is all there is to it. You have your NAS basic function all set up, and you are ready to do more advanced stuff such as backups, run your read files, and stuff like that. So if you have any questions, do leave a comment or just send me a message, or you can hit straight to the article and read it again. Perhaps the article explains it more explicitly or clearer. And yeah, that's about it. Next time what I'll teach you is how to add those added functionalities of your commercial NAS, your retail NAS, such as UPnP file server, the media servers, and stuff like that. But for now, we have your basic functions all set up. You have your file sharing across the network, and all you have to do now is to sit back and relax and just give yourself a clap for getting everything working. So yeah, that's it. If you like more of such videos, do subscribe, and if you find this video informative, do give it a like and thumbs up. Otherwise, you can just visit me at my website at swiftworld.net, and follow me on Twitter at swiftpolar. That's it. I'll see you again soon.